Hello everyone, I am Bets Golden. Today I'm with you with Artistry and their June blank of the month. Now you might be wondering, what the heck is Artistry? Artistry is a fantastic company. I like to call them the weird science of crafting. What I mean by that is they have taken chemistry and the art of sublimation, which is turning an image that has ink in it, an ink that's made with a sublimation ink that you just do on an ordinary piece of paper, adding heat to it, turning it into a gas and forcing it into a substrate. That's what sublimation is. This has been throughout in other industries like the car industry for a long time, but it recently has been brought to the art industry. I think in 2018 is when I first learned about Artistry, and it is so fun. This is a wonderful project to do if you have little kids because their ink are safe to use with children. And you can take, and if you have a baby, you can just put their little foot in the ink pad and then put it on a piece of paper and write to grandma on it, mirrored image of course, and go ahead and sublimate it on a blank. And what I mean by blank is anything that has an 80% polyester coating on it or blend. That includes this, which is the June blank of the month. It is a metal tag star. It also can include those sequence pillows. Those actually have a lot of polyester blend in them. Who would have thought? You can do it on clothing. You can do it on metal. You can do it on little tote bags. As long as it is an 80% blend polyester, you're going to get a wonderful image. Also, you don't create on this. You actually create on a piece of regular old paper. It doesn't even have to be paper that is expensive. This is a leftover paper from my classroom. I'm gonna go ahead and create on the back of this. So what I did was I'm gonna actually use all 4 of these stars. Now, you would think that this would be for the holiday, 4th of July, right? That's not what I'm doing. I'm doing something a little bit different. So I went ahead and I outlined my stars like so, because I'm gonna be using 2 packs. These come with packs of 2 and I want 4. And then I'm gonna be taking my sublimation ink. And they have some beautiful colors that they came out with: pink, green, purple, brown, and blue. And then I'm going to be using, though, the black, the red, the yellow, the orange, and the yellow. So before I continue on, if you're interested in anything I'm using, you can get your blanks at other places. Although if you're just starting out, I highly recommend using Artistry because everything is made to work together. Go over to Artistry with the link that I have provided down below. I believe my code is BetsGolden10, and they're going to give you 10% off of whatever you want. So go check them out over that way. I don't want you to have to pay full price, and I know that these guys are top notch. They're based out of Florida. I have actually been to their location, and oh my God, it was so much fun. And that's, yeah. Anyway, all right, getting back to this. So I have traced my 4 stars, and I'm going to just take my blending tool, and instead of putting the blending tool directly, I'm going to just take, and oops, look what I did there. That's going to be okay though, and smoosh some out like this on my mat. This is a really nice foam pad, so it's really juicy, which I love. And then I'm just going to pick it up and I'm just going to blend it on through on some of these areas. Now the color may go on a little bit mute. You may look at it and go, ew, that is ugly. But I'm telling you, it's okay. It's all okay. It will brighten up as it heats up. And when you're ready to set this, all you're gonna do is you're just gonna use your everyday iron. Just make sure that there's no holes in it. If there are holes in your iron, you're just going to press it, not rub it like you would an ironing a shirt. You're gonna press it, and then you're gonna lift it up and press it down again. And I'm gonna show you how you need to go ahead and create like a, just make sure that you don't have any ghost images. I'm gonna show you how to do that. And it all comes down to how you end up taping your image. All right, Now I'm gonna just kind of erase, take some water. This is water reactive, which is super cool because you can blend colors, which is fun. I'm not so much worried about as I blend this out, you know, getting a mud, because I am being respectful of my color family. I'm keeping my warm colors together. If I were to throw in a green, ooh, I'd be a little bit concerned. So this technique is gonna work just fine because I am keeping my warm colors together with the yellow, the orange, and the red. I'm gonna use this again because, like I said, I don't have to worry too much about, you know, it blending through. And you know, that orange is looking kind of, not like, it's kind of gross, right? Like, it's like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about that. You ain't pretty. But don't you worry. Once we go ahead and sublimate this, it's going to show up nice and vibrant and beautiful. All right, so just rubbing that through like so. All right, almost there. I'm just gonna pick up my ink. I love it. All right, this one too. And now, last but not least, I'm gonna use the red. Once again, I'm just gonna rinse off this area. There we go. I'm gonna use my red. All right. And again, just gonna use that same blending tool, and I'm gonna start on down here. Just gonna hit it in some spots. Since this is my darker color, I may not be going in as much as I would the others, but I just want to do a really fun blend through here. Okay. I think I like it, and I think we are done with that. Now I'm going to add my stamped image. So once again, I just want to take and wipe that up. Again, I am done with this for now. I will off screen take some Dawn soap to it and just rinse it out, but I'm not too concerned about that at this point. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm actually going to make a Hamilton theme, and this is going to be for my classroom. So I'm taking a foam pad that I got. Gosh, you can use the foam art pads from your big box stores for this to add cushion. You don't need really anything all that spectacular. And I need my stamps here. I'm going to use Hamilton for my wonderful little image on these stars. So let me go ahead and take, just want to make sure I get really need this one. In my classroom, I have Hamilton posters, so I thought that this would be fun to add. All right, and then I'm going to use the sublimation in the black. I like to keep these because it keeps them nice and moist. With that being said, you also want to be super careful if you get your fingers dirty. All right, and then I'm just gonna load this up. And the beauty of doing this off on copy paper is if I end up not liking it, it's no big deal. You know why? Because I can just throw it away and start again, and I'm only out of copy paper. I don't transfer it until I absolutely love it. All right, and then I'm just gonna wanna put this about right here on that. There we go. Nicely done. And again, I'm just wiping off that. And I definitely want to do the girls. I have to do, I feel like I got to do these women. So let me take this one, and I'm just going to center it up once again over here. Now, when I do this, I'm going to be using the Artist for Heat Press. And so that will, when you do the heat press, a heat press in general, you're going, like for screen print t-shirts, you're going to want to set it at 400 degrees for 90 seconds. And that's how these will all transfer over. If you're using your iron, then you are going to set it for the highest setting, and you're going to press it for 3 minutes. Okay. There are those, my girls right there. And I got to do the other girls. Got to do it. They like work, and talk to Thomas Jefferson. He's going to write and include women in the sequel. I'm just singing it in my head right now. All right. And then this one. So I'm going to make sure that my foam is down here. And by using a foam base, whenever you have the cling stamps, what it does is it just allows enough cushion to give it a nice crisp image. Otherwise, you could get some holes. And we don't want that. Okay, so now we're going to do this one right about there. Beautiful. And then last but not least, gotta have good old Hamilton doing his signature move, which is that. Just gonna make sure that this is under here, like so. And gonna line that up just like that. All right. Now, if you notice on my stamps, there are a couple spots that are shining through. What I'm going to do with that is I'm actually going to take the Artistry pins in black, and I'm just going to dab in those spots. Artistry has pins that have an amazing collection of different colors, but I'm just going to use the black on this one, and I'm just going to go right in to where there's those spots, and I'm just going to dab it through so it makes just one silhouette. Is that the right word? Now, before I transfer this, I want to make sure that all of my ink is dry, because if it's not dry, that can create some problems. So I'm just going through, making sure that I have all of this covered. Okay. This one right here as well. And again, we're just going to make sure that everything is dry before we run it through. And you can use a heated tool. But pretty much as I finished up one, the other one's, like this one's pretty much dry. So what you're going to want is you're going to want heat resistant tape. If you use masking tape or regular tape, you're going to end up with a sticky, gross mess. So I always like to use their heat resistant tape. Again, everything through Artistry I know is going to work because it's been created by the people who have been pretty much responsible for sublimation from the get-go. I believe so, or a big name. I shouldn't say that. I'm talking out of my butt right now. But anyway, you're going to want to take your tape and you're going to take your your substrate, lay it down. This is why you want this pretty much dry right now. It's because if it moves around, that ink is going to transfer onto this and you're going to get a mucked up image. So I'm just going to take and lay this down, and it's totally okay if my pencil marks are not exactly lined up, because the pencil is not going to transfer. Only my sublimation ink will. Gotta love my overly loud air conditioner, right? All right, so when you are sublimating with an iron, you want to make sure that all of your edges are completely covered. Otherwise, you could get a ghost image because you're going to have to lay that iron down a couple different times if there's holes. So, or if your iron is not as big as your substrate that you, or your blank that you're trying to sublimate on. So do you see how I'm doing this just like really, really well? That's why. It's because I have to make sure that it is not gonna move. And the only way to do that is to really adhere down. Adhere it all down. The other thing you want to take into consideration is wherever the tape is, you will not be able to transfer any of that ink. So that's why I'm not putting any of it on my face of my blank. I'm putting it all on the back. Okay. So this is an example for you when you're just going to use your everyday iron. This is how you have to have it down, okay? Gotta do it this way. Do you see how that's totally, it's not gonna move, right? Like, it is down for the count, all right? Now, if you are just using your, what I'm doing, which is I'm just using my press, I only have to adhere it in places because I'm only literally, there's no chance of it moving all over the place. It only is, it's going to stay right where I originally press it. Whereas when you're ironing, sometimes, you know, things happen. It can move, and or, you know, you may accidentally slide it and iron it. So you really want to make sure that everything is like that. Also, if I was ironing, I would cut these out individually and do them one at a time. Since my press is big enough to hold all this, I'm not really worried about that at this time. I can press them all at the same time because they're the exact same depth. Okay, so since I am just using my press, this is going to be enough. That's all I need for that. So once again, go ahead and I'm going to finish off this, and then I'll come back and show you what you got to do next. Now what you want to do once you get your blank adhered to your image that you want to transfer, is you're going to take protective paper. This is silicone paper. This is really best for doing this technique. However, there are other options that you can use, but this is best because we are going to deal with a gas. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if I really want to breathe in things that were not made to heat up, like wax paper. I don't think that that's really good for me. So I prefer to use what I know the scientists use and what they've tested. You know, and I don't really want to breathe in anything, but if I have to, I just want to make sure that it's not going to have a better chance of it not hurting me. All right, so this is a new package. You're going to make a sublimation sandwich, and what that means is you're going to place one under the image and one on top of the image, and that way it will capture your, it's going to capture and turn it into a gas. And so the top will heat it and it'll turn it into a gas, and the bottom will catch it and force it right back up into that substrate or blank that you are trying to sublimate. I can talk. Really, I can. You are going to want to place your heat source on top of your artwork. So it needs to be silicone sheet, face down with your image you want to transfer, on top of the blank, face up with where the polyester is, and then end it off with a silicone mat. I'm gonna go put this in my press at 400 degrees for 90 seconds. If you are using an iron, you're gonna wanna place the iron and press it, leave it, don't do anything to it, for 3 minutes at the highest setting. One thing you wanna keep in mind after you are done pressing your image into your substrate or your blank is it's gonna be hot, so let it cool. I let this cool for a little bit. And I haven't even looked, but I would look with you. Look how cute these are. So that is what is left. And as you can tell, there is definitely a brightness difference in these. And I wanna actually do something else on these, but now you can squirt water on them. You know, it's not moving. It is part of this. It has become one with it. I mean, it's one. It's gonna last the life of your substrate. So that's why this is just so cool. I'm actually gonna put a little bit of glitter on these. I have some stickles that I think would be really fun just to amp it up a little bit. And then I'll go ahead and run my red ribbon through it as well. But aren't those just so cute? Love it, love it, love it. Definitely got the Hamilton theme going on now, right? All right, everything I'm using, like I said, will be for you down below. I think for this particular, gosh, there's some really pretty stickle colors here. I think I want to go with, I'm just going to do a little bit on the edges, this gold. And what I like about stickles is it's loose enough where it's like there's the colored glitter in there. And so you can literally see the background still through it, which I love. They have a whole bunch of different fun colors. So I'm just gonna continue to smear this on. My glitter is getting a little bit dried out. I've loved it a lot. So I may have to open up a new one, but you get the drift. I'll have some pictures posted for you here as well as over on my Facebook channel. But I mean, my Instagram, I can talk. I'm just having so much fun with this, but yeah. So I'm just gonna kind of play with this. Maybe just do some of the corners on it, just to give it a little bit extra something there. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share it with anyone you can think of who would enjoy it as well. If you haven't subscribed to my channel and you'd like to see products used and tried by just an everyday crafter, I by no means am a professional, just like you. I hope that you consider subscribing, making sure that you hit that notification bell as well so you can be notified every time a new video is coming out. Any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Until next time, I'm Betsy Golden. Happy crafting.